Hey, Lois, you see my hiking boots? I need them later for park soccer.
Peter, why the hell do you look like that?
Family Guy. Peter Griffin. Peter Leuvenbroy Griffin, born Justin Peter Griffin.
But you didn't know that, and you also probably don't care.
Family Guy started airing in 1999 as basically just a Simpsons ripoff. Over time, the show evolved to become its own thing. A politically incorrect, raunchy, pop culture reference-filled, cutaway gag-induced fever dream it is today. However, Family Guy as a show had in recent years been declining immensely in popularity. The show in its initial seasons saw viewing figures in the tens of millions, but the newer seasons have been struggling to even barely crack 1 million.
Now, viewing figures like this typically would result in a show being canceled, which, little known fact, Family Guy actually was canceled for a brief time after the 3rd season, before being brought back for a 4th only a little over a year later. But that's besides the point. How did Family Guy avoid cancellation for so long after its initial cancellation? The answer is more complicated than you may think, but TikTok and its algorithm were a key component to Family Guy gaining a new audience on streaming platforms. But to understand Family Guy and its newfound surge in popularity, we need to go back. God, don't you hate it when YouTubers do that? Like, oh, let's go back and see the history of Family Guy. No one fucking cares about fucking Family Guy back.
If you actually don't care about the history of Family Guy, skip to the timestamp on screen right now to get to the part of this video about TikTok. But if you've enjoyed this video so far, I'd really recommend watching all of it, and not just because I want watch time. I learned a lot about Family Guy's history when I wrote this video, and it's only a little bit of time out of your day to be able to brag to your friends about how cool and awesome you are because you know the history of Family Guy. And while you're at it, if you happen to enjoy this video, I'd really appreciate if you could like and subscribe. I know it's contrived for me to be saying that, but it really helps me out a lot and helps motivate me to make more videos like this. With the shameless plug out of the way, I hope you enjoy the video.
Family Guy wasn't always Family Guy. Family Guy's concept was initially conceived by Seth MacFarlane at age 21 for his thesis film in college, and it got sent to Hanna-Barbera by his professor, which landed him a job there. The short film I'm talking about is The Life of Larry, which had a sequel produced, Larry and Steve, and was eventually picked up by Fox and transformed into the TV show Family Guy. The original Life of Larry concept starred Larry and his dog Steve, who became Peter and Brian, respectively. The short also features Lois, who became Lois, and Milt, who became Chris, whose name I was convinced was MILF for the entire short film. Family Guy! You know, it seems today that all you see is violence in movies and sex on TV. But where are those good old-fashioned values on which we used to rely? Lucky there's a Family Guy. Lucky there's a man who positively can do all the things that make us laugh and cry. He's a Family Guy. Right now, I would go over the premise and characters, but because I don't want every single goddamn one of you to click off this video, I'll save you that condescension. Family Guy initially premiered directly after the 33rd Super Bowl, leading to absolutely bonkers, crazy, bananas initial viewing figures, but ran for an initial 2 seasons starting in 1999, before being canceled shortly after a 3rd season was announced and produced, which was stated by Seth MacFarlane as a, quote, colossal dick move, end quote. Fox kept constantly shifting the airtime of Family Guy during its 3rd season frequently with no announcements or notice, likely to ensure the ratings would drop low enough to justify canceling it. The rights to produce DVDs for Family Guy episodes and to air them was shortly after sold by Fox to Cartoon Network, and Family Guy started airing on Adult Swim, which, to be honest, probably would have been a better place to put this silly, goofy show in the first place. But this led to Family Guy's 3rd season becoming the 2nd most sold DVD ever at the time, just behind Chappelle's Show, which aged as well as you think. The show was as a result revived by Fox for a 4th season, and like I said earlier, has been airing ever since, as Family Guy is in its 21st season now, which is crazy. The success of Family Guy led to multiple spin-offs, but most well-known was The Cleveland Show, mostly because of TikTok, but we'll get into that a little later. There were other lesser-known spin-off direct-to-DVD movies like Stewie Griffin: The Untold Story, but because I'm not being held hostage in a garage, I won't be talking about them.
Lois.
What the fuck? Please, dude, I promise, you got the wrong guy.
Oh, I got the right guy. A family guy.
Listen, man, I'll give you whatever you want. Please, just let me go.
No one needs to get hurt, man.
How the fuck do you know my name?
I've been watching you for a long time. You're gonna make a video essay about Family Guy.
Why the absolute fuck would I do that? Who would even watch that?
Will you make that video?
Listen, dude, I'm really not sure I have the time to do.
You wanna live?
Stay hydrated, kids.
A lot of Family Guy fanatics, which is somehow a real thing, had for years argued for why older Family Guy was superior to modern Family Guy. Well, this argument has changed in recent years. We'll discuss that later. Most of this argument stemmed from how the comedy and characters changed. Let's talk about the comedy first because I feel like it. The earlier seasons relied on more stereotypical sitcom comedy, resembling that of The Simpsons or Seinfeld. While the show was still edgy for its time, lines weren't really crossed nearly as often. Newer Family Guy has somehow not had a major cancellation event on social media, despite the constant jokes about a ton of fucking topics that I can't even talk about on YouTube without getting demonetized. Family Guy's newer jokes are crude and very, very problematic, but I'd be a liar to say they aren't at least teensy bit funny sometimes. The comedy also became far more self-referential and random, and honestly the show's improved because of it, in the opinion of me, a TikTok-brained, attention span issue Gen Zer. The comedy was originally almost identical to The Simpsons, with cutaway gags being more connected to the episode's plot. The cutaways now almost serve as a break from the episode. They also rely on more random is funny humor, which honestly works way better than it usually does, considering they're actually pretty silly goofy and the show isn't written by a ton of fucking monkeys at a keyboard.
Fuck you looking at?
Moving on to the character changes, the major ones are pretty obvious. Stewie in the older seasons was hell-bent on killing Lois and was far more evil. This was later changed because the writer said there were only so many jokes you could make before it got old. Lately, Stewie is still scheming and a genius, but way more sympathetic and acts more as a foil to Brian. And Brian acts as a foil to him. Speaking of Brian, Brian started as just an everyman, the voice of reason among fucking batshit bonkers insane characters. But he morphed into the alcoholic, politically aware and yet unaware at the same time dog he is today. Finally, Peter and Lois fell out of love. Lois was made to be more unlikable, and Peter was made to be even more of a fucking idiot.
Why are you doing this?
I'm the Family Guy.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Peter Griffin, baby.
Guess what, guys? The only reason you probably clicked on this video is here. If you've used TikTok at all in the past few months, you've almost definitely stumbled upon a specific type of video. A type of video I played near the beginning of this video. At the bottom is some dude shoving cigarettes into a metal pipe or some absolutely dogshit mobile game. And at the top is Family Guy. But if Family Guy was dying, why are these videos showing up on every fucking person in their mom's For You page? Family Guy was dying. Past tense. Like I said earlier, Family Guy's viewing figures have kind of been shit for a little while. On cable. Which, let's be honest, no one under the age of 65 fucking watches cable anymore, almost purely because of streaming services. Family Guy is currently at its peak this year, being the 8th most popular show on TV right now, the most popular Fox show, and the most popular animated show. It started the year as the 65th most popular show on TV. I don't even know how to explain how fucking batshit insane that change is. Let me paint you a picture, which I don't think will be too hard for most of you to imagine, because you've probably experienced it. I know I have. You're a teenager. You're scrolling through TikTok. You stumble upon a Family Guy clip. You think it's pretty silly goofy. You click like on it, and you keep scrolling. Because you liked that first clip, TikTok shows you another, and another, and another, and another. Until half your For You page is taken over by Family Guy. You start watching full episodes of Family Guy on Hulu. Do you see what just happened? TikTok's algorithm is designed to feed you content that you like. But what this means is that there's an algorithm that just decided your TV watching habits. An algorithm which rewards these episodes of Family Guy cut into 11 parts and uploaded in 2-minute increments. And this just got Family Guy from nearing the precipice of cancellation by Fox, being one of the most popular TV shows in the US right now. While we're on the topic of TikTok's Family Guy pipeline, let's talk about the Family Guy pipeline incident. About a month or two ago from when this video was uploaded,
Family Guy clips on TikTok were starting to peak in popularity. Most of you probably know this, but I'll explain it anyway. In the TikTok comments of a video, right above the top comment is a recommended search query. And for the Family Guy videos, it started recommending Family Guy pipeline incident. For months, I thought pipeline was used in the same context of political radicalization pipelines years back on YouTube. But while doing research for this video, according to Know Your Meme, it's referring to the literal pipes beneath some Family Guy clips. But what does the Family Guy pipeline incident mean? No one really knows. TikTok's algorithm just started recommending it as a search query, which is kind of scary as shit, not gonna lie. But because it sounds like a creepypasta or something of the sort, people started distorting Family Guy clips or adding jump scares to them. Back to the main topics here of Family Guy and TikTok. I have a bit of a conspiracy. I have zero evidence behind it, and this is just my opinion, so take it with a grain of salt.
I think there's a chance that someone at Fox or Seth MacFarlane himself realized how robust of a tool TikTok is for advertising and shoveled a ton of promotion into the platform, kickstarting the Family Guy clip phenomenon. And if so, it's obviously worked. Does this mean I think Seth MacFarlane is personally behind every Family Guy clips account? No, obviously not. But there's a chance Fox was behind at least some of the initial growth.
It's pita time, bitches.
You're fucking insane. Now let's see who you really are. Seth MacFarlane?
Giggity.